we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Number 164, congratulations to me, and happy National Hot Dog Day to everyone. Best day of the year.
Hell yeah, brother. I love me a good old hot dog. You know, I might even have to get one of those things on my way home. You know, when it comes to hot dogs, I was telling Art, you know, when we were doing Mile High Nationals this past weekend, they had the Polish sausages up there, they had the big old hitters up there, and I think you had one, I had the other. They were both good. Smothered in onions, hitters. Smothered in peppers. Everybody has their preference.
Of course.
But did you say glizzy day?
Yeah.
It's glizzy day.
It is
okay,
glizzy day.
So I've recently learned a little bit about glizzy, but I don't know much. Okay, so
yeah.
What's going on with the word glizzy day?
Definitely
for
has
hot
some
dog.
Definitely
reference.
has some negative connotations to it. It used to, at least.
Okay.
But I don't know what changed in recent years. I guess it used to be like a gun. I don't know, maybe a dick or a penis. But now glizzies are hot dogs. Yeah, glizzies are glocks, whatever.
Glizzy is penis.
Yes, and it depends on who you ask, right?
Okay.
It depends on where you're from. But now, no matter where you're from, glizzies are hot dogs, and today is National Glizzy Day.
Okay.
So if I roll up to the old good old American hot dog stand, I say, give me a glizzy, smothered, covered, and chunked.
They'll fucking know.
Because I mean that's like a Waffle House Southern thing.
Oh, totally.
Is that gonna work? Is that gonna pair?
Oh my God, yeah. They would probably give you a weird look just because of the smothered covered chunk thing. But again, it depends on where they're from. If they know,
It's a geographical thing.
Oh my goodness.
Because
What's a smothered covered chunk?
First of all,
if I were a hot dog vendor and I were asked that, I would give you a tip of the hat and offer any sort of apology if I couldn't make that possible to you, because that's an amazing order. I'd be like, listen, sir, I probably need to leave right now to go get the ingredients for a smothered covered chunked glizzy boy.
that might be
nice.
That's about as greasy as you can make a hot dog. I feel like
Totally.
it just dawned on me.
Totally.
What is it?
Well, here's the thing. You're from Atlanta, right? You said so. You're familiar with the Waffle House kind of
Yeah.
culture down there. Smothered and covered, chunked, right? They're hash browns.
Yeah.
Cheese is the smothered, covered is the onions, and the chunked is the ham little pieces.
Yeah, you're even more familiar with it than I am. I'd have to brush up on it, but it's just basically whatever you can pair with hash browns, realistically, to make it better. There's about 8 or so different toppings.
I would definitely
Smothered covered
want
chunked
green
is
peppers in mine.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll make it happen.
Capped, I think that one
Capped.
is.
I think capped is mushrooms.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, we all getting capped up in here.
Dude, 100%. I think my go-to was just topped. I believe
topped.
that was gravy. Just
Tops
give me
in the
that
gravy?
fucking gravy.
Like
Give me
the
that
biscuit
sausage.
gravy?
Yeah, but on my hash browns.
Country
now,
gravy.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Delicious.
Like not the fresh stuff either. Like give me the old stuff you got. Like that's from a couple hours ago. That's been
sitting around,
marinated.
yeah, getting that flavor in there. That sausage and black
Don't
pepper.
throw that out yet. That's for me.
You're like sitting there waiting around, like you like show up super ass early and shit, and you're like, no, just coffee, just coffee, please. And you're like watching the kitchen,
you
you're
just
like,
wait, just watch the process.
just watching the kitchen, like, yeah, you
Not
like,
enough
can't wait to
lard
get
back
in.
there.
Grease it up. I love Waffle House though, man. But no, happy
miss
National
it.
Hot Dog Day.
100%.
You know what a great. I didn't even realize it was Hot Dog Day, but I love hot dogs. I grew
Frank
up
Day.
We are blessed.
Grew up in New England, so close to New York, and their big thing up there was like Nathan's, Hebrew Nationals.
100%. Yeah.
You know, but again, sauerkraut, onions, mustard is usually my go-to kind of ballpark style.
Yes.
But I'll play around with some combinations.
And it's good that you said ballpark style, because obviously it has to do with the environment that you're eating it in, right? I can't go to a ballpark without getting a couple glizzies down the old gullet. But
Glizzy's down
no,
the
like
gullet.
it 100% has to do with the environment. My go-to toppings are the triple threat: mustard, relish, diced raw white onion. Mustard
Classic.
type, it really depends, whatever's available.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I have those 3 available, you have to go for it, in my opinion.
Full send.
Someone mentioned to me the other day putting chili on a hot dog. If I'm okay with that, I'm 100% for that.
Okay.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Now, is that on top of the triple threat, or is that a separate entity?
Yes, minus relish. I don't think the relish complements the chili that well.
No, yeah,
It's
no
the
relish
it's
with
the
the
vinegar.
chili.
But everything else,
Yeah.
like the mustard,
yeah.
onions for sure, and some cheese
Okay.
under the chili.
Under the
Let it
chili.
nice and melty.
So that's the way to do it.
See, so okay, I'll get really scientific with y'all. So how I like to layer my favorite hot dog and like your classic style with like the onions, relish, condiment, whatever you want, kind of simple style, is I do the onions and the condiments on the bottom underneath the dog.
Under the meat.
And then maybe like
okay.
a
That's
relish on
interesting.
top,
That's
like
interesting.
only a
So
couple condiments.
You
on
like some
top.
structure to your dog.
Yeah, I like to keep it contained because when you put everything on top,
okay.
you have a risk zone.
Totally.
It's almost like
That's all part of it, though.
volcanic. It's like tectonic hot dog plates.
There's a danger element to that, though. There's
I mean, look, as long as you got a napkin handy, like
fuck a napkin.
No, but see,
whoa.
if you're going to build it like
These Atlanta
that,
boys.
you're almost going into fork and knife territory like Sonic does it. Because you
Yeah.
get that big old 12-inch hitter,
totally.
like their chili dog.
Yeah.
You can't eat that thing. holding
No.
it. It's a disaster.
You can, but
You
like
can, but
you're gonna make
yeah.
a fool of yourself.
Well,
I mean,
especially me.
you can do it. You can pull that off.
Oh, I'm a
100%.
messy eater.
Yeah.
That's this guy.
He
He does it all week.
can't
pretty
help it,
messy
man. He
myself.
can't help it. We're constantly.
I have to
Sometimes
put,
you gotta get messy.
I got to put placemats down, a bib.
Hell
I got to
yes.
have like barriers around me to catch some of the debris flying off, like the wood chipper.
Make bibs
I'm messy.
great again.
Make bibs great again. Hashtag
the
make
little
bibs
the
great
corner
again.
tucked in to the t-shirt. That's my go-to right there.
Classic.
I love a good hot dog, though, man. I'll tell you one
Yes.
thing, though. It like the cheap ones, they taste funny.
Yeah, no, it's worth paying more.
Like I said,
Definitely.
like the
Yeah.
Nathans.
Definitely.
Because like ballparks, like they were kind of like the middle of the road for a while. Like the ballpark, I think it was It was not Johnsonville.
I grew up on the Oscar Mayer, like the
Oscar Mayer.
standard, like I call them like the standard 7-inch dog, or 6 inches for, I don't know, depends on the manufacturer. But the Oscar Mayers, they won't let you down. Those are the struggle dogs, though. Those are like, oh fuck, like what am I eating for lunch? I don't want to spend any money. I got this month-old Oscar Mayer that's been sitting in there for a while, you know. But and
maybe-
they just
maybe
go,
you got
can
some
eat
mac
it.
and cheese
You
and
can
stuff,
prepare
too.
it
You
however
can,
you like. You can just eat that shit raw if you want. Just
Throw it in some
package
beans.
mouth. But
Beans and mac and cheese.
we are distinguished gentlemen now. So that
Days
being
are behind us.
yeah. Okay.
Perhaps.
So yeah, now we're talking. You mentioned Hebrew National earlier. I have the utmost respect for Hebrew National. Johnsonville, they make a quality. They make a quality dog.
I love your passion for the
The hot dog commodity.
Glizzers,
the
baby.
Glizzer.
It's Glizzer Summer 2022.
Glizzer
And
summer.
we're
20
here for
I
it,
love your
baby.
passion for the
I've eaten
Glizzer.
I've eaten so many hot dogs this summer. So
Okay.
July 4th weekend, I entered a hot dog eating contest. We found ourselves up in Steamboat Springs last day. We were
Okay.
up there, checked out of the hotel, belly full of continental breakfast. Okay.
Okay.
We're talking 10:30 in the morning. We stumble upon this July 4th celebration downtown Steamboat Springs by the courthouse. There's some commotion going on. We approach it. Some guys yelling. We get a little closer. He's like, "We need more adults. We need more adults for the hot dog eating contest."
Okay.
I look to my girlfriend Maddie. She looks at me. She's disappointed because she knows that I have to do it. Like she understands me.
Well, you're a glizzy fanatic, by the
Of course, and
sounds
so
of
I
it.
have to. I've never entered into a hot dog eating contest before, but I've always entertained the thought of it, and so I've been like, oh, "Fuck it, why not?"
This was a lifelong dream.
Is
it fair to say you're a glizzy aficionado?
Definitely, I would say so. I don't know, maybe not self-proclaimed, but I like the sound of that.
No, you can't proclaim that yourself, but I
Definitely
feel like
love the sound of that.
you've been deemed
I think you just granted
a
that.
glizzy aficionado.
Cheers to that.
Hey, yeah, cheers, man. Good having you in, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
pleasure.
Great way to kick this thing off.
Such a
Talking
pleasure.
some good old American meat.
Hell
And
yes.
so I want to know how this thing pans out. So you're like, look, I'm chomping at the bit. I got to get them glizzy hitters.
Yeah, so I had a full belly. We pulled up. We got the best parking spot available. I like to mention that because that you're going to have an amazing experience right off the bat. We pull up. I get out of the car like a hot shot. Glizzy contest, I'm coming for you. We're all standing around the table. I sign up. I see that I'm one of the older of the group. There's a lot of like 18 and younger, all boys. It's all right. It's fine. We're hanging out. It's time for the contest. We're all gathered around the table. There's about 25 of us. We have a seat. 25 chairs, perfect 1-to-1 person to chair ratio.
Okay.
Have to mention that. Everything's set up for glory here. I have to mention these 2 girls walked up last minute, gave the old pants tug on the judge. Hey, can we enter? He has to let them. So he's like, which gentleman's gonna give up your seat for these 2?
Yeah, 2 little girls, they want to compete.
I have to oblige. So I'm the only one awkwardly standing during this whole escapade. And so the girls sit down, they're sharing a seat. I'm the only one standing. 25 others now. Either way, they just plop down what they call a brick of dogs. I was anticipating buns. I was anticipating condiments, things that make this experience not only easier, but more enjoyable.
All the hot dog eating contests I've ever seen, like they have
buns, condiments, waters, galore.
Buns and waters at least.
You
right?
fucking, dunk the shit. You eat, you drink it. You do whatever you want. However you need to do it, you do it. And so I was expecting that. I was expecting more, either way. I sit down. They plop down. It was just an aluminum foil packet. Call it the brick of dogs. All dogs are of various lengths. I like to point that out too because that's a strange tidbit. Like you'd think they're all uniform shape.
Yeah,
they're all different.
Where are these dogs from? Why are they all
different lengths? It's like damn, like they are.
It's almost like real life.
They diversified their assets, if you will. So it's go time. It's a race to finish 10 dogs. No buns, no condiments, no nothing. All I have is a bottle of water. I'm putting back a glizzy. All of a sudden, all the kids around me, including the 2 girls that I gave up my seat for, they all just start gagging on their hot dogs. They don't even like hot dogs. I could tell their parents, they were peer pressured into this.
Oh no!
For greatness. There was also there was a $500 grand prize. I will add.
Oh wow!
So
that's
there
was
decent. That was decent. $500. Come on.
Yeah.
Bringing that home to mama, baby.
I'd
couple 10
into the ring for that.
10 doggies.
Yeah.
Done. So that's what I thought. So I get one down. Gagging ensues. I become angry that this is going on around me. That this is all on my side of the table. Meanwhile, the other actual contestants who are putting back the glizzies, they don't even have to listen to this.
And you're standing.
I'm standing. I'm looking up at the sky. I'm trying to pay no mind to the screaming children, and so I put back 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden the judge is like, "All right, we have our final 2. They got 1 left." This is about 90 seconds in, 2 minutes in. This is an impressive show. At this point, my attention is drawn to this guy. He's got his 2 hot dogs left. Boom, right there.
Just swallow him down.
Double down. He won it. He flipped the table. He ripped off his shirt. Everyone's waters, hot dogs in the air. I'm pissed. That should have been me. That should have been me.
Absolutely.
Fat check, 500. Fat check. Fuck it. Why not? Like, come on. I'm angry. And so, either way, it was a fun time. But Steamboat Springs City Council, if you're listening right now, give me some fucking buns. Give me some goddamn mustard. And you're going to see a show.
And you'll be back for the 2023 tournament.
Yeah, I'll see you next year.
It just seems like so much, like such a high salt intake, Like, because my blood pressure's already a little bit like roasty toasty. You throw that much sodium on me, I don't know what's going to happen.
They were some salty dogs. Let me tell you.
I bet.
It was challenging without the bun.
I've never done a hot dog.
It slows down the process. Like when you're trying to get them down as quick as possible, and you don't have what you have every time you eat a hot dog. It not only throws off your game, but it makes you rethink your approach to life. Like, what am I doing here?
Interesting. So what did you take from this whole experience? Like, well,
I need to prepare way more. I need to eat raw dogs without buns more to get my body used to that kind of thing.
Everyone should eat more raw dogs.
Everyone should be able to just change it up on a dime, right?
But
that's what I took away from
these. Were cooked though, right?
They were prepared. They were grilled.
Okay, they were grilled.
Barely though. I need char marks. So I heard a saying the other day. It's I'm gonna try not to butcher this. The tougher that they look, like the tougher the dog looks. I'm sorry, I'm butchering this already. The rougher they look, the tougher they taste. Meaning, like, I want one that's like looks like they just went through a fucking bar fight. I want a dog that's like half leaning over a little bit, like it was charred to within an inch of its life, like for 60 seconds, like a hot char. Yank that puppy, bun, mustard mouth.
Mustard to mouth, charred mustard to mouth. I like that. We could probably create like a little slogan to go with that to sell some dogs. But here's the thing, where I'm wondering now, if it's charred to an ounce of death of its life, how the hell are we going to eat 10 of these things in 90 seconds?
That's the thing, and they probably kept that in mind. These were mildly cooked. I mean, these things were on low heat for maybe a couple minutes just to get them warmed up. That's it. No char, no smoke, no flavor.
Well, talking about smoke and flavor, I do know that there is a big subject matter that the two of you are both highly interested in. And I only noticed this because Brad and I work for the same company at our day jobs. And let's go 3PL brokerages out there. Let's do it. And
let's do it.
But for your background, for all the Zoom calls and everything, all the Teams calls, you got like a Traeger in the background. Mm-hmm. And my boy Kevin over here, this man does brisket. He does all the things on the Traeger. So like,
I love doing smoking.
That's where the flavor's at.
Love that. And I can tell that just from like your general aura, honestly. Like we just met a couple minutes ago downstairs, and I could tell you're a man that knows a good smoke ring.
Oh, yeah. Right? That's great. That's a great read, man. I appreciate that. I'm going to cheers you to that.
Cheers. For sure. Cheers, friend.
Yeah, my brother was in town 4th of July weekend, and I did a brisket. Smoked it for him. That was the last thing I did on the Traeger. And, man, I feel like that's a good test because everybody's got their approach to a brisket,
Dude,
right?
the Traeger's kind of tough, though. The Traeger's tough.
It takes some
to
finesse.
a certain extent.
Yeah. So what model do you have? Let's start there.
Oh, shit. So, I mean, this is this is a grill that was actually gifted to me from an old neighbor of mine. This is the type of person that, like, their grill got dirty and they bought a new one. And I just happened to be their neighbor, and I lucked into that situation. It is like definitely a standard model. I don't even know like the exact I know that there's different sizes.
Sure.
But this is
kind of one of the OG
definitely
ones?
your average Joe.
Okay.
An OG for sure because they're not grillers. They've had it for a while, but it just got too dirty for them to use anymore, and they're like, I'm just gonna buy a new one.
So they hooked you up.
Yeah, like give me that shit. So.
And what was the first thing you did on it?
Chicken wings. Chicken wings for sure.
Smoked wings are a good way to go.
Yeah, they're kind of easy and forgiving. I feel like. You know what? And the thing is, it's tricky because I grew up on an egg. My dad me and him love grilling out on the egg whenever I'm home back in Atlanta, and so that style of smoking, I had more of an appreciation and knowledge of, honestly. So going from that to like the pellet smoking was definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
What did the egg smoke off of?
Charcoal, like lump charcoal. Okay. And it's way more labor intensive. Like you got to really sit there. You got multiple different inputs, outputs on the bottom and the top of the actual egg. I'm not even talking big green egg. I'm talking Komodo Joe. Shout out K Joe from Atlanta. Komodo Joes are far superior, half the price. Get them while they're hot.
And they stay hot.
They're just amazing. I actually used to sell these grills. I worked at a plant nursery for like 4 years, and they had a grill section.
Now.
And I was the sod and the grill guy, so I sold them. So that's kind of how I got started into like grilling.
That's kind of neat to be like, hey, here's your sod, and
I
also
was like a 17-year-old kid too, like talking to these 40-year-old dads like about these like the features and the accessories.
They were getting excited, taking notes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like they were licking their chops. And this was in like a pretty affluent part of Atlanta that I didn't live in, but I just worked in. So it was nice. I got to reap the benefits of that and all that good stuff. But back to the topic at hand. Yeah, what are your go-to like meats that you go for?
Oh man, all of them really.
I guess you can't even limit it to just meats on the Traeger either. You can do anything.
I mean, so I went with the Traeger 575 Wi-Fi Pro, which is one of the newer models.
Okay.
And this thing's a beast. It's not the full like massive one. You know, it's you can do up. I mean, I did a 13-pound brisket on this thing. It's plenty big enough to do a brisket, kind of do some other things. But the Wi-Fi piece is kind of cool. I don't really utilize that when I smoke. I mean, I more do it because I'm like, oh, it has it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll play around with it. But my go-to for sure, I mean, beef tenderloin. I love smoking
That's a classy move right there.
Oh, it's so good.
Those are finicky as well.
They can be very finicky. The temperature's
Okay.
got to be crucial,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
and
You
and
can't
the,
fuck
and the
those
pellets
up.
and the pellets got to be right.
Oh man, a nice juicy beef tenderloin though.
So
That's
good.
like our go-to for Christmas. Yeah, I feel you on that.
We did a prime rib. Art was there for that on Christmas. I smoked a prime rib, which turned out pretty good. I'm going to make some adjustments to it this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a turkey for Thanksgiving. I haven't done that yet, but I've basically done everything else. I've done salmon. I've done brisket. I've done steaks. Like I said, tenderloins, pork tenderloins, chicken wings. All of it, man. I love it. There's just it's such a cool like chemistry to see how it all comes together. The way the rubs work, right? The way you inject the meat, whatever your like pre-process is. There's so much work that goes into it.
Yeah, and to kind of like develop your skills, like if you know, like you become a fan of like, I love brisket. I want to perfect this, and you can, over time, the injections, the seasoning, the heat, the type of pellet, the smoke that you want, the flavor you want to impart. It's crazy. There's so many elements that go
This
into
dude
it.
will be chilling up in the apartment, and all of a sudden he'll be like checking his Bluetooth. He's like, "Oh wait, I gotta."
Oh, they're
I gotta-
so intuitive.
Oh
too.
wait,
It's crazy.
something's happening here. Like it's not quite the temp or something. And
Yeah.
then Kevin will go out there. No, but honestly,
Dialed in.
Seeing your journey on the smoke of the meat, and
It
trial
is
and
a
error.
journey, isn't it?
it's been
Yeah.
fun to watch. I mean, because the passion behind it, I think that's what really attracted me to Kevin's attraction to smoking meat was yes, and I'm attracted to Kevin smoking meat. I mean, who doesn't like some good
Yeah,
old smoke?
everyone gets to reap the
know.
benefits of it.
Yeah,
right?
so but it was this passion behind it. Like he had this like, you could tell like he had the setup, he had the gloves, like everything was all good to go and shit. So it's like when that is involved, like I love it when anyone can find something that they're passionate about and like, really dive into it and have fun with that, because like that's what life is about, is enjoying, time outside of work, and like how are you filling that time,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all about the hobbies, and I appreciate that, Art, because me, I take everything to 100. As the more you hang around me, you'll get to know that. If I'm into something, I want to know every nook and cranny about it, and I'm always willing to learn more.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can enlighten me on something. I mean, you're an Atlanta guy. You came from the South. What can I do better?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you've been smoking longer than Kev has.
Man, I mean, that's questionable, but I will say, I guess there was a lot more jalapeno stuffed bacon wrapped items from where I hail from. For instance, like one of my go-to dishes, if you will, and this is back when I was in college. My roommates were big hunters. I've never even gone hunting before. Would love to. I'm more of a fly fisherman, but they would go out and they would bring back like a couple dozen frozen quail for me to dress up for them and all that. And luckily, I mean, they would kind of clean them up, get all the feathers off. Sometimes I'd clean up a little bit shot after them, but either way, my move was on the quail, get it nice and cleaned out, Old Bay, cream cheese, jalapeno stuffed in there, bacon wrap it, and get it. That was before I was even smoking, so I would just grill that at like a nice 350 to where you can't burn the bacon. That's the hard part.
That's true.
So you gotta like kind of nice get a good caramelization there. Get the bird cooked thoroughly.
I like the Old Bay choice. That's a good seasoning.
Yeah. I fuck around with the seasonings for sure.
Oh, I do
And
too.
everyone that I'm friends with knows that I'm a griller, so like a lot of like birthdays, Christmases, different seasonings. So I got
That's
a lot.
perfect.
I got a lot to experiment with for sure, which is fun.
That's what it is fun, man. I did a cooking with Kev stash, which I think people saw on social media,
Hey,
and I played around.
Cooking with Kev. Check out Cooking with Kev. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun, man. We have a good time. Art
Cooking
filmed
with
it,
Kev.
and I was doing the seasoning rub on it, and I tried a different combination on this brisket because the first one I went Texas style, just salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Real get a good bark
Yes.
on there. Right, hit it with the butcher paper, which I still like to do on the smoke when it comes to a brisket. This time I went a little different. I hit it with a Traeger beef rub. I hit it with the salt and pepper. I let it sit, and then I came in and finalized it with a coffee and ancho chili pepper rub
Oh, my God.
over the top. Oh man, that flavor was tremendous. I'd like to work with that again.
That's
I think I just got to
dirty
tweak.
talk.
Yeah,
That's-
oh,
Chili
yeah.
That's
pepper,
wild.
When he put that on
And
there,
the coffee rub.
it smells
Yeah,
so
the coffee
good.
rub too. People have been
nice
fucking
blend.
around with that recently.
Just got to get the ratios. I just want to tweak a little bit. So like repetition's a mother of skill, right? So the next
Yes.
brisket, I'm going to tweak the recipe.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying with the salsa too, like the repetition. But I like.
Oh, we have to talk about this in more detail because, look, we were recording, and once in a blue moon something happens, so we had a necessary break that occurred, and when that happened,
Salsa time happened.
Our man B-Rad,
Salsa time.
our man B-Rad had brought in
break 'em out.
Yeah, you brought in the salsa, and then you also brought in the chips.
Yeah, hold that up to the camera there.
Yeah, let me get this solo on you right here. Yeah, and that
homemade
is
hitter.
delicious.
Yeah, I mean,
It's delicious.
It's homemade with love, baby. I can't get too much into it. I don't want to give away grandma's secrets.
No, you can't.
Absolutely not.
No, but those
Can't be doing that.
those were delicious
Yeah, man.
chips with salsa that I had in that little intermission. And yeah, so where did your passion for salsa begin? I mean, it sounds like you like culinary. Like that's just a passion of yours in general.
Sure,
doing
yeah.
culinary stuff. Okay.
I have like the grilling and the salsa are two different things for sure. I love cooking in general, but like the salsa itself came about. I think my uncle, shout out Uncle Skip, you're the man. You gave me this recipe maybe like 10, 15 years ago. This has been passed down.
Uncle Skip.
This has been passed down. I think my uncle grabbed this from
Salt that.
from my grandma at some point, snuck it out of her kitchen cupboards. But yeah, man, this thing's been around for a while. Can't give away too many secrets, like I said.
No. We don't
the thing about it is that I can. It's so simple. It's only about 7-8 ingredients, but you can tweak it. You can tweak those all you want. You can make it smooth. You can make it chunky. You can do whatever you want. You can have so many different versions of the salsa and just tamper with those separate ingredients. I mean, it's like the core ingredients to any salsa, really. It just depends on how you want to prepare it. But it's also just like the perfect thing to just offer, really, anyone. Everyone loves salsa.
I mean, when you
I don't
said
know
you
if
were
I've
coming up
ever
with
met.
goodies,
I bring
excited.
goodies.
yeah, we were like,
Did y'all get
what-
excited?
I was like, what
Yeah,
goodies?
yeah, yeah.
What
What
goodies
are
he
the
bringing?
goodies? I was like,
Mystery,
I was
man.
like, probably beer, but then,
Oh, I thought you would have read right through that because
No,
I'm kind of the salsa guy.
but I forgot that we talked. And then the second I saw the
So it was
salsa,
a
I was
good
like, no
surprise.
shit.
Hell yeah. So.
Yeah.
When I had zero intel on you, so I'm like, well, what's he bring? Maybe some smoked treats. Maybe he's bring. What's going to happen? You know?
Yeah, that's my shit right there.
No, it's
shout
delicious.
out Uncle Skip.
Hell yeah, Uncle
Yeah,
Skip.
it's really good. It's just something that you can whip up real quick. I just love having on me, having just a quick snack.
Look,
Well,
It keeps me
no,
prevents,
Kev, you
prevents
go.
me from getting.
I'm sorry, I'm
hangry.
getting excited. I love talking food, but
Everyone
what's
does.
great about it is too is it's like if you're going to an event, right? It's like potluck or hey, everyone bring a dish. It's like, well, I'm gonna bring this salsa hitter, and everyone's in the kitchen eating that. You know,
And I
it's
have to
conversation
tell
creator.
people ahead of time because other people will try to bring the store bought shit, and I don't want. No one wants to like get their feelings hurt. Like, oh, why aren't anyone eating my salsa? It's because it's store bought. I told you I'm bringing my salsa. Bring something else. Like I'll let people bring the chips or whatever if they want to compliment it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You're like, the salsa is mine.
it's always a hitter.
You're like,
it's always people.
it's mine is basically what you're like.
Yeah, the salsa category. Nicked the mic there. The salsa category is my fucking lane.
Look,
Everybody stay
you're
out of
owning it, and I would never tread on you there. Ever. Even if I learned how to make a good salsa, I would not even tread on that.
No,
bro.
but I can also appreciate salsas that are better than mine. Like I love a salsa verde. I love a green salsa, or like just a. Keep fucking up, nicking the mic. Or a
So
good like
excitable.
fresh pico.
with some pico de gallo.
Yeah, I can't. You
So
can't
good.
You can't beat that.
So good.
Little
Well, I
beef,
mean,
shout out a
I
little
can
beef.
just tell the viewers and listeners as I look over at those two jars over there, I can see the cilantro sitting in it, and it's making me excited.
Here, let's just bring those on the table for the rest of the app.
You can see.
Yeah,
the
we can do that.
fresh-
Can we? Yeah. Let's just put them on there.
Let's put them on here
Put them right here, man.
so we can really,
So that way, anytime that this angle hits,
I need another beer.
people can get a
yeah,
view.
grab it while you're up, man.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to try that later when I have my midnight snack. So I like to do that. Then I got to
Totally.
take my Tums because I get agita late at night. But
Me too, man.
it's part of it. I like to have some good eats. But man, yeah, the culinary art's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We can go on about that probably all night.
I mean, like, I'm not a specialty in any way. I could learn how to do all this stuff, but like the thing I say I would specialize is just a good old fashioned rice mixture. Like I like making concoction dishes,
Like casseroles.
Totally.
yeah, like that. That's the type of shit that
nice.
I like to specialize in for sure.
I need to get more. I would love to be a casserole guy, honestly. They're
I grew up on that
so
stuff.
hearty. They're so convenient after the fact.
Yes.
Maybe not preparing, but fuck it, right? Casseroles, there's so many different kinds, too. Like, I feel like my go-to favorite breakfast casserole has to be. What would be yours?
My favorite
Favorite
casserole.
casserole, yeah.
My favorite casserole is going to be like a fish based or chicken based with like peas and the white sauce and like cream of chicken and like the breadcrumbs on top, and maybe you throw some broccoli in there. Maybe there's like some carrots or. And then maybe there's like little ham chunks too, like a couple little ham chunks in there.
Any kind of protein,
and of course you got to add the cheeses.
For sure.
And I've been trying to eat less every day,
you're headed in.
But like my inner stoner has survived my diet choices. And I want it all.
No, 100%.
I grew up on casseroles. Mom listens to every episode. She's going to probably remember a lot more ingredients than I will. But it was basically whatever we had in the cupboards: egg noodles, can of peas.
It has to be the egg noodles.
Egg noodles for sure. Cream of chicken or cream of mushroom. Throw that in there. Chop up some chicken, whatever kind of protein. I like tuna casserole. A lot of people get like gnarled out by tuna casserole.
I don't think I've ever had tuna casserole,
It's
but
good.
I would 100% try it.
Bro,
It's
tuna
good.
casserole is a hitter.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
Yes. Come on,
That's
now.
a hot take, I feel like.
yeah, it's
A
good.
hot take. How much older am I than you? How old?
26.
26. Okay, so it's about 10 years. Because I'm trying to keep
Are
up
you
with.
10 years older than me?
I'm 9 years older than you.
Okay.
But I'm trying to keep up with all like the new the new sayings.
Is that slang? I don't know. I consider myself an old soul too, so I'm not even like hip on the jargon.
if you're an
you
old
will.
soul, this is a 1920s jargon slang term.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
I already know what it is.
Yeah, he knows what it is because I've been throwing this around. So I'm getting ready to leave. Let's 23 skidoo out of here, baby.
23 skidoo out of here?
Yeah,
That's it.
23 skidoo.
23 skidoo. Okay.
Yes. So
I can't say I'm familiar
I
with
was
it,
using it in a
but I
sentence.
can get behind it.
Yeah, I was using it in a sentence to try to.
23
It's
skidoo.
basically like we gotta
Yeah,
leave.
like, that's
We gotta
fucking
leave
bounce.
quickly. Yeah,
100%.
we gotta leave quickly. We gotta. It's not 23 skidoo,
Hastily.
man. Like it's. Even though it takes longer to say that than it says fast, like we gotta leave fast. No, I'm gonna say 23 skidoo. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Or as the military would say, we got to move with a purpose.
Or
Move with a purpose.
or pop smoke.
Yeah.
It's time to pop smoke.
Pop some smoke.
That's electric. That's fucking high octane right there. Let's pop smoke.
Oh yeah.
Fucking bounce.
No, the military has probably some of the coolest slang terms you're gonna
I can
find.
believe it.
Is military like pop smoke and shit. I wish I had more on deck right now. I thought I could rattle some off, but apparently
That's enough.
Apparently there was a dam in my mind right there, and I was.
You know what old school term I find myself saying all the time, and I don't know why, because no one else picks up on it when I'm asking. It's like when I'm looking for a bottle opener, I ask for like a church key or a bev key.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I picked that up from my dad.
Okay, I haven't
But
heard
everyone's
that
like,
one.
fucking church key. I'm like,
I haven't heard
I'm not
that.
asking for the key to your church. I'm asking for like a bottle opener. It's kind of like double, like a.
Because people
double
call
entendre,
like
maybe?
booze is their church.
Yeah. I
Or
feel like it's
bev key or church key.
a bev key to the beverage, or
Yeah.
a key to the church.
Yeah, because you want to
Yeah,
get in touch
booze is your
with the
church,
higher
right?
energy or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Okay,
Something like that.
those make sense.
I wonder if that's is that like a Southern thing, do you think?
It might be.
I love Southern
It may
dialect.
be something that I'm also trying to become or trying to popularize again. But
It's a thing. But it's after this episode. Yeah.
maybe. Fuck. Throwing around church key.
Hey, man.
Hashtag church key, bev key.
Hey, the problem is all the fucking shit I drink is cold domestic and light most of the time, and long bottled, and those motherfuckers got twist offs. You don't need the bev key or the
Sometimes
church key for that.
I'll like surprise myself with purchasing something that I forget requires a goddamn bottle opener.
Yeah,
Like fuck.
You don't just keep one on you. Wait, can I show you one of the coolest tools you're ever gonna fucking see?
What?
All right,
What's
I got to
that?
do this. I'm doing the
Well,
quad cam
and
for
I think
this.
too that I have. Go ahead while you're pulling that out. I want
Yeah.
to check to see what I have on deck.
So this thing, I'm gonna hold it up in front of your camera really quick, just so people could get a look at it. It's
old school.
it's basically a Swiss credit card, so it's like a Swiss knife in credit card form.
I can see some.
All right,
stuff
so
in there.
so I'll let you check that out. But it has like scissors, a pen that you could write with,
That's
tweezers, a knife. It has like a pokey pen. It has a flashlight.
Everyone needs a poke.
It has a flat and Phillips head. It has all the shit, dude. Magnifying glasses.
Shit,
I know
yeah.
it. Yeah, magnifying glasses. And then
Wait,
also,
does it have a bottle opener though?
what you use is you just use the
Oh, you just use like the edge of it or some shit?
yeah.
Oh,
But then
okay.
also my wallet. It has this this like
that.
holder here, and I'll just use the edge of that.
What is this? What the hell?
Yeah.
This is slick. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it seems very industrial. You know.
and it has the RF blocking and shit.
Yeah.
That thing's badass.
I'm into the little things, and see it like has the light on it and shit.
Didn't you show that to my dad this past
And
weekend?
he wanted to steal it.
I mean, I could see why, Dad.
That's a dad gadget right there.
Dad was like,
doubt.
I'll take that.
Look, I mean,
Slick.
this thing, like you're chilling and you're like about to hop on a pod or something. You're like, oh my God, there's a freak hair. You try to comb it in a bunch
freak
of
hair.
you just cut it up real quick, man.
Comes in clutch. I still got that old
The
school hit.
multi-tools are a lot of fun.
We're talking bottle openers. I'm one of them traveling bottle opener guys. I still got, here, you got to flip it over to his camera so I can show the viewers.
Okay,
You
yeah.
can't probably hear me, though. I still got that old school NASCAR Nextel Cup series. That's how long I've had this.
Nextel Cup.
Yeah, look at this shit.
You got a bottle opener on your keychain, don't you?
No, I don't. I don't even own a
Yeah.
car. I don't have a keychain.
Well, shit, man, you got traffic skis.
Yeah, I don't. Fuck yeah, you got me there. I don't. It's funny on my little keychain. I do a little UGA bottle opener. I'd never bring it with me though, because I don't fucker. I don't
Yeah.
have a car. I haven't had a car in like a year now, so screw it.
Okay.
Sold my car. I had to take advantage of this market.
You
Plus,
did.
my girlfriend has a car, so I can just mooch off her.
You got some wheels. I mean,
Just kidding. Love you, Maddie. Split that insurance.
Hey,
My car too.
hey, dude. I mean,
I'm playing. Love
you know,
you.
but that's the thing is when you're in a serious relationship with somebody, and I don't get too deep into relationships because I have a lot of experience with all that. But
My man's been around.
But when you've been in serious relationships, you know, and you're truly like loving each other and supporting each other and seeing each other as equals, you know, something as trivial as a car and transportation, you would happily, you know, find the inconvenient way to work on that together.
Yeah.
You know, because that's true love. I mean, that's true, like, all right, I care about you as an individual, and like, if it's not necessary, then it's not necessary. Like, a lot of people work from home. I know that you have that option, so
Yeah.
it's like, is a car really needed? Like, that's an extra payment. That's you know, savings monthly and or more fun money to go up into the mountains and do other things.
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
Like.
It's
So,
like you'd think you'd be saving
Yeah.
money. It's like, oh, fucking, I'm just gonna got a little more
Use it for fun.
little money at hand, right?
yeah.
But no, that car been paid off since like
Okay.
2014, 15. I don't even remember when I bought it. It was a 2003 BMW. Sold it for like $3,000. I actually got real lucky because I thought I was gonna get like $500 for the thing. Listed it on Craigslist, got blown up. I was like, what? Damn, raised the price $1,000. Listed it for $2,000. I deleted it. Put it in
Reposted?
yeah, people were pissed too. They're
They're
like,
like-
"This is yo, what's going on? Like, I want this car, but like, you just raised the price $1,000." I'm like,
You're like, I'm sorry. It's what you
Tough
call it?
shit, you
No,
know?
you're like,
That's how it
it's
is.
a hot what right now?
it's a hot take.
Yeah, that was your.
That's not
BMW,
that- that's
your
not-
BMW isn't a hot take.
I guess
What's
you could.
up?
I guess you could say that.
What the fuck is a hot
A
take?
hot take is like a newfound take on an old school subject. I feel like maybe
Okay.
or like just like a maybe an uncommon opinion about a subject.
Is a hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Uncommon
Okay.
opinion
Like-
about a popular subject.
Like earlier we were talking glizzy toppings. You said you
Yeah.
like ketchup. That's a fucking hot take.
That's a hot take.
Like ketchup on glizzies. Like I appreciate that because you know I like to spice my life up a little bit with some different toppings. But that's a hot take.
But there's something about, okay, let me revisit that then and really defend my point if that's going to be a hot take.
Sure, yeah.
Because there's something about the mixture of ketchup and mustard together that I really enjoy. Like even when
totally,
I
totally.
dip my fries, I like to have it like a mixture of ketchup
I'm
and
with
mustard.
you on that. When I was
And,
when I was
you
I would
salt and
mix the
pepper
two,
a
too.
little bit. You do a little salt and pepper on top of that and like season up the seasonings. And, you know, it could be good.
A real emerald
Do you
Lagasse
put it on
our
yours,
hands.
Kev?
Let me tell you something about. Here's one thing I don't like. It's gross amounts of ketchup. And I like to dip my fries in them. You know, that's about it. I used to work with this guy that would salt. He would put his ketchup on his plate and he would salt it.
No.
So that he would salt the
Dude,
ketchup.
salt is
And
ketchup.
I'm like,
it comes salted.
Right, right.
Maybe, right?
and I think there was
And sugar.
That was that was the turning point for me. Like I was never a big ketchup on a hot dog guy.
Yeah.
I like a little bit. It has to be proportion right. Now meatloaf.
For sure.
My mom's meatloaf, mom, the
Ketchup.
best. Okay, mom's meatloaf, I'm due.
Totally with you.
I want to try the meatloaf that you make too, Mama.
Yes.
I mean, I've had my mom's meatloaf, but I don't.
We're due for Mama's meatloaf.
all
That's
three
where I
of us,
love.
apparently.
That's where I love ketchup.
Make
No,
an extra
straight up,
loaf next
ketchup
time,
belongs on
please.
meatloaf, though.
100%.
Yeah.
That's where ketchup belongs,
Yes.
in my opinion. Now, I
Look,
know it's a
okay,
classic
okay.
American condiment. People love it. They put it on dogs, burgers, fries. Some people put it on their eggs. You know, I'm not into that. I like hot sauce on eggs.
Oh, me too. Me too. I got this new. I wish I remember the name of it. It's from this like local Colorado vendor or whatever. I got it at some bullshit farmers market. Overpaid for it, like $9 a bottle. But it's this fire hot sauce. I got 2 bottles of green, 1 bottle of red, and he had these like bowls with him too. He was like with the chilies that he made each one with. He's like, smell this. Now taste this. He would like just put it in our mouths for us. I'm like, fuck, I gotta buy it. It's so good. But I'm with you on that. Hot sauce on the eggs for sure.
100% send it.
Yes.
Now, here's the real question. What hot sauce?
Ooh, I mean, what is commonly found in my fridge is Cholula, but a red tomato-based hot sauce on the eggs for sure.
Nothing too vinegary.
No.
So like Tabasco's kind of already out.
No, not Tabasco on the eggs.
See, I like mixing Tabasco with ketchup and putting that on eggs.
Yes,
Oh, that's good.
Yes,
You know,
hot ketchup.
see that being good.
I'm
spicy
actually
ketchup.
probably,
Oh, on
you
the
know,
eggs, though?
a ketchup fan a little bit, I would say.
We can
A
tell.
lot of folks are.
I would say. Is there dead giveaways?
But here's the thing.
What am I doing that shows?
Do you like?
I've
Do you
said
like,
a lot. I've said too much.
Do you like raw? Do you like raw tomato?
Not so much.
See, that's funny because my brother's the same way. He doesn't like tomato, but he loves ketchup.
That is
It's funny how that works.
Well, I do like tomato, but I
I've
feel
never
like
paid that
it
much attention.
ruins things a little bit. Like when I got a tomato on a burger, like wait, tomato is on the Chicago dog as well.
No, is it?
Is it?
It might be. I
Oh,
don't,
okay,
I don't think
sorry.
so.
Last time I had a Chicago dog
Yeah.
was up in that. Y'all been to that like Fraser dog stand up in like Winter Park, Fraser area? It's like pretty renowned.
I did some tubing up there this last
I
winter,
gotta try it.
and it was about negative 24 degrees. So we didn't do a whole lot of dog standing.
You went tubing, you said?
Yeah, snow tubing.
Oh,
Not-
okay.
Not like
okay.
water tubing.
I was like, what? Bad man.
My only time in Fraser and Winter Park was doing tubing, and it was cold.
Yeah, it's definitely cold up there. But they got like this renowned hot dog stand. They have legit like Polish dogs.
I got to get up to
Johnson's.
Fraser and try that.
Yeah, I think it's
Absolutely.
literally just called like Fraser Dog. Shout out Fraser Dog. Fucking free.
Cool town, man. Really cool town.
Yeah, 100%. I love
So
Winter Park up there.
let's get back to the subject. When you put a tomato on a hamburger,
It makes it soggy.
you risk slippage. So I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah,
if
I know
people
what you
know
mean.
this. I don't know if people know the proper way to hold a hamburger if you really want to top it out. All right, so there's a proper way. All right, and
let's
so I
do it,
got
yeah.
all cameras going. So basically, you grab it majorly with like these three and your thumb. You grab it like so, and then the pinky like comes way in the back and kind of
For
tucks
sure,
it.
pinkies for support.
Pinky tucks it, so you're like kind of separated like that. And then with that, you try to like push it forward as you bite it in, so you're like pushing all the ingredients forward. That's how you accomplish
I'd agree
a
with that.
perfect burger bite.
agree with that.
The
Totally,
pinky has to be
totally.
in the back.
Ideally, the burger will be big enough to fill up those two hands as well. Because a lot of the times
yeah.
it's just a one-hander deal. But if you're lucky, sometimes you can get that second hand in on the action.
Yeah. I mean, if you're dealing with fast food burgers, this doesn't apply.
Yeah,
Because those things
leave it in the paper.
Leave it in the fucking paper. But if we're dealing with a hitter, like a real, a good top end burger, some of them get too big though. I feel like sometimes they can pile too much shit on there, and I don't know where to begin. So
Totally.
then I'm like kind of gnawing at it like a chipmunk, trying to come at it from a
Yeah.
couple different angles.
That's tough is when you can't get all layers of it in one bite. You have to like go like
Look.
second bite just to get more layers of it. It's
Look,
like, you're
I
doing
mean,
too much.
look, I already disclosed my age. I'm 35 in here. Like, so I'm matured. I've lived through life, and I know how to do things a little bit better nowadays.
Okay.
So when you got that big, messy burger hitter, similar to like a glizzy with fucking all the chili cheese dogs shit on there, you go at it with a fork and knife. All right. Like
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then that way you're not sacrificing your fingers. And you know what?
If it like warrants a fork and knife, I'm
Yes.
with you. But it's got to be a fucking monster burger.
Yes, it does. It does. But then your couth level and like etiquette, properness, like you go on a date, your date sees you start slicing up your burger like that, she's gonna look at you two different ways. Maybe
That's true.
So what
you can't
do,
pull that on like a
No, but this is what you do.
initial date.
No, this is what you do. You eat the first half.
Maybe you
fork
should to
and
kind of
knife,
show her who's boss.
And then the second half, you're like, I tried to show my best Arthur for you, but you know, I gotta go in hands deep. Like you gotta go in with the hands at that point.
Maybe.
It's like a
So it's
madman.
it's like a taste of both. You know, you get a little flavor of both.
I think it's really going to be a case by case basis.
Yes.
Because I feel like he could order 2 burgers the exact same way from the same restaurant, and it could come out in a fork and knife
Yeah,
situation
you're right.
or a manhandle
You're
situation.
right. It just depends on how hard they're squeezing the condiments.
Who's building this thing? Who's squeezing the condiments?
Who
Who's
is
flipping?
squeezing the goddamn condiments?
Who is it?
That's all it boils down
Take
to,
it,
right?
take it down a notch, Roger. You know,
All I know is that the 130
Mayo belongs on burgers
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, the one
agree with that.
Okay.
absolutely. But the 130 crew at Neaters off of Lincoln, near I-25 in Colorado, they are good with the honey mustard sauce on that ciabatta chicken, cheese, and
Oh, that
ham.
shit's good.
Like whoever makes that,
Ciabatta,
like,
chicken, cheese, and ham.
yes. So I've went to other Neaters and
Never heard of
they
Neaters.
have fallen short. But for some reason, whoever's doing it in that place
Yeah.
at that time on the days, like if you're listening, I know I've handed out stickers in there. If you're listening,
Oh, it's so good. Art will call me. He's like, "You want that? You want that hitter?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want that hitter."
That's the hitter?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I'm going to have to try it at some point.
oh, no, yeah. I mean, dude. I mean, come on. Food is like, ugh. I mean, we could. I mean, obviously, we've already consumed a pretty good amount of podcasts just talking food. So if
It's an essential to life.
if you could only eat like pizza, like you only had 2 choices. It's hard to come up with one of these on the fly. I was gonna go pizza or like pastas. Everyone's gonna choose pastas.
Yeah, you gotta go like pizza or burrito.
Okay, yeah. So
Like
so
cuisines, if we're talking cuisines, like
yeah,
entire cuisines or just pizzas, just burritos?
for the rest of your life, you could
Mm-hmm.
only eat pizzas, any type of pizza, or burritos, any type of burrito.
Do wraps constitute burritos? Like, you know, like maybe a little
It's in a.
salmon BLT wrap? Like,
I don't know,
it's kind of a
Kevin.
burrito.
What do you think on that?
I mean, I
I'm
think
going burrito. Fuck it. I'm going burrito. That kind of answered my question right there, because you can really make anything a burrito.
This is
As
true.
long- as
you
long
could
as
even
you
make,
add-
like a pizza burrito type thing.
I guess you need a definition of what a burrito is. Like, obviously tortilla, but base ingredients as well. Like rice and beans, maybe?
rice, beans, some sort of meat, and some sort of produce, guacamole maybe, and
I'm
a
going
hot sauce.
burrito.
I'm taking burrito all day. I love pizza, but I agree with your point. You could make a pizza into a burrito.
Oh, shit. You really can, actually.
Well, and also no, but you could actually literally take a whole ass pizza and roll the motherfucker
and eat it like
turn
a
it into a burrito.
Wrap it in a
Straight up,
tortilla.
like, just do nothing else but just wrap it into the form of a burrito.
Yes.
If you want. If you're craving pizza.
That's playing the game.
Yeah, so I guess unanimous. We're going burrito.
Yeah.
There's just
that's
more.
a
Yeah,
unanimous
that's a
decision.
tough one though, man, because I do love a good slice.
Just roll it
Yeah,
up.
me too. Me too. Like folding one and just hawking
New York
it down.
style, just
Yeah.
fold that hitter.
Maybe we'll go duet restaurants next to you after we're done, and we'll go get a slice, and you get your illegal pizza on.
Yeah, we got some good food right next to the studio,
The
man.
world is our oyster.
We can chuck it
It
however
truly
we
is.
want.
We'll do whatever we want.
Man, now you guys got me thinking food. This is what happens. When we get on food, my mind starts to wander, and I forget about what's really going on in the world.
Yeah.
And what is going on, man? I don't even know.
I mean, there's too much going on. Okay, so this is my time to come in.
Uh-oh.
All right, so
Here we go.
So when you
Worldly
hit a
holistic
when you hit a lull in life or a lull in your day, my biggest piece of advice is to do something productive, right? And like people shun on the phones all the time, and I get that why phones are unhealthy. However, if I'm using my phone during my lull to listen to motivational speeches, then that is not unhealthy. And so let's focus on the lulls being filled with something that is productive, right? Like doing something that we know can benefit us in a long term, or like even in the short term. Like let's break the scroll on social media, right? Like let's watch something that's meaningful, or do some push-ups, or go for a quick walk. Who cares if it's sweltering? Go experience life and how it feels to sweat out all the booze you drank last night.
100%.
I mean, so that's how I treat the lull moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's never a dull moment and a lull moment when you're productive.
That's very true. That's a great way to look at it as well. 100%.
And I think a lot of people address it differently too. It's like, okay, what's your go-to? If you're in that position, like, man, okay, work's done. Maybe your girlfriend's out of the house.
What are you doing in your spare time?
Yeah, what's your go-to? You're gonna think about doing culinary. You're gonna do video games. You're gonna play music.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
Mine is, I mean, especially if like girlfriend's not home, I'm just chilling there, got a couple hours to spare. I'm gonna crank out my vise and tie some flies for fly fishing.
Hell yeah.
100%. That's what I
Nice.
love to do. I've been doing it for a long time. It's almost therapeutic. It's like I like to describe it as an art form. But it's nice. I mean, when it boils down to it, it's just fucking arts and crafts. Just tying some thread and some feathers to a hook and then seeing if it fools a trout or a fish. It's kind of the best feeling that I get is when I can like catch a fish on like a...
So did you find like the special recipe
Yeah.
for your bait?
Yeah, I mean, like you can test out, like especially out here in Colorado for fly fishing, it's like a whole different world of it. The aquatic ecosystem, what the trout eat, what's below the water. There's thousands of different like species of like aquatic insects that they feed on, different variations of life forms, whether it's like a nymph in the water, adult fly that's floating on top of the water that's about to lay eggs and die. There's a lot to it.
So you're doing insect research.
Yeah, there's a lot of like entomology that goes into it for sure.
Entomology. Okay, well that's the word of the week.
Is it?
Then
Yeah,
for sure.
entomology, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, so I love fish. Art knows that. I'm a big freshwater fish guy. I love fishing. Grew up in New England bass fishing.
Fuck yeah.
Did some fishing on the western slope. Pulled out a couple bass. I had some success with trout. I did some cutthroat trout up at St. Mary's.
Oh, love that.
Fly fishing is one thing I have never done.
Yeah, it's there is certainly a barrier to entry, if you will. I don't know if that's the right expression, as opposed to like conventional fishing, which obviously everyone starts out as. But yeah, no, so like, and that's how I started out too, just fishing with my dad and like growing up, like fishing ponds, for bass and perch and shit like that. But that eventually, like, I knew that I loved fishing, kind of wanted to like branch out there a little bit, wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. And so I picked up a fly rod. I had a really good friend when I was growing up. He was homeschooled. He grew up on a lake that was really close by to where I lived. And so like every day after school, and he also played on the same soccer team as me. That's how I met him. But every day after school, I would go over to his house, and he was free all the time. So I would be like, yo, let's go fishing. And he was just a fish whisperer, if you will. I mean, he was just unreal. Growing up with him, having him teach me everything, it was crazy. His name's Gabe Wittosh. Shout out Gabe Wittosh if you're watching this. You're the man. But yeah, I mean, he really taught me everything and got me I mean, this kid was unreal. So he grew up, pretty much taught himself everything. And then as we were only 15 years old, and he decided that he's going to start to like go compete in these tournaments, these fly fishing tournaments. And this is up in North Georgia. We're both from Atlanta, metro Atlanta area. Go in these North Georgia tournaments. And at first we were both just like kind of observing spectators, if you will. And then he's like, oh, I'm just going to try to make the team and then fish in these. Made the team immediately because he's so damn good. Started fishing in the tournaments, and then he just blew up from there. Got like he made team fly fishing like USA. He made the youth team. Started traveling literally all over the world and was ranked #1 youth fly fisherman in the entire world for like, I don't know, I want to say like maybe 2 or 3 years. But this man was unreal. Taught me everything I knew about fly fishing at a young age, and so put me on a fly fishing. Once you get into that, you start wanting to tie your own flies. The lures that you're using are weightless flies that imitate flies in the water. Whether you're going for bass, saltwater fish, trout in rivers, you can attack any fish with a fly rod. It just depends on what you're using and the equipment and size of that. But either way, he put me on, and I'm loving it ever since, especially out here in Colorado.
Where have you found the most success with fly fishing?
There's like a certain technique of it called Euro nymphing, and this is something that Gabe taught me.
What is a nymph? Like
nymph is like an insect and a younger in its life cycle.
Okay.
That's right when it hatches from the egg, it's a nymph, and then it eventually evolves into an adult.
Insectology?
Entomology.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm no entomologist, but I've just like briefed myself on it just to familiarize myself with the sport and become a little bit better at it.
Absolutely.
Hey,
because you got to know the different families.
I can sense your passion.
Yeah, I mean, I love this
right
shit.
now.
I love this shit. It's fun. It's fun. And when you really get into it, you know that the trout that I'm fishing for here in Colorado, they're high pressure, and so a lot of fishermen are going after them. So you got to really fool them with what you're fishing, and so you got to really make your flies, artificial lures, look lifelike, and so you got to really make them look like it's a nymph, which is a aquatic insect, and it's I guess in its youngest version. And then they eventually there's four stages of life.
How big is that? If you can
they're
hold it up?
tiny. Sometimes they range. It can be like a match tip, the size of a match tip.
So you're like making a very detailed match tip looking something.
Yeah. And it's all like macro. Like it's all like very, very tiny little flies.
So
all the way up to something that's as big
like,
as a finger. Like
a magnifying glass. You like have a magnifying glass?
No, just with my eyes, just right here. Like I have it as close as the mic is right here.
Yeah.
And I have an Instagram, Be Nasty Bugs. Go follow me, Be Nasty Bugs on IG.
Be Nasty Bugs.
Yeah.
Check it out. DCPC is about to follow that too.
Yeah, I take pictures. I'm into like macro photography of all the bugs that I like to tie, and post that out on IG. That's what I use social media for.
That's a good reference though, and that way you take a picture super close up, and that way you can kind of blow it up and see it better.
Yeah, you can see it way better.
Yeah,
and it's funny. You can see all the different details of things that you missed while you were tying it and such. But yeah, man, it's really fun. Tie up a bunch of flies, go out there, see what works, see what doesn't, come back home and mend the recipe, if you will. It's a lot of fun. Dude, crazy fucking story when I was fishing up in Montana. This was March 2021, so about a year and some change ago. I was up in Big Sky with my girlfriend Maddie and her family. They're all big skiers, and I'm not a skier whatsoever.
Yeah,
but this was March, spring. You're not much of a skier either.
Absolutely
no, me neither. Yeah,
cool. Oh, hell
I mean,
yeah.
I'll go up into the mountains and chill, but
I'll tube, like I said.
Same, yeah. I love the wintertime mountain vibes,
Yeah.
but not much of risking my
Not
body
me.
for this sport. Either way, we're there in March. It's late March. It's spring in Montana. It's snowing. We get shit ton of snow that trip. We were there for a week. I was kind of trying to pick up snowboarding, half-ass a little bit. Like it was fun and all, but I was there to try to fish. And so the last 2 days,
in the winter,
it was springtime, so
Okay.
it was snowing, but the river is warming up a little bit to where you can start fishing it more, and give or take. But that has a little bit to do with the story. And so the first day we went out, I wanted to devote 2 days to fishing. First day we went out, I took a guide, and I was with a buddy of mine. Both crushed it, and we just took a guide, like a wading trip, just so he could show me like where to go on this body. We're on the Gallatin River up in Montana. I had never fished it before, and so spend a little bit of money. He can put you right on the fish and show you exactly what to use.
That's good.
So I'm like, oh shit, why not? I'm with a buddy, like we'll split it, whatever. Did that, hammered the fish all day, but at the end of the day, I had this massive fish on the line, probably my biggest, and I lost it after like a 5-6 minute fight. Yeah, I was pissed. I was super pissed, but I knew exactly where to go. And so I was like, next day, I was just on my own. My buddy wasn't there, and the guide that we hired wasn't there. It was just me and my girlfriend.
But you remembered the path.
I remembered exactly where we were, and so I had them drop me off on the road, and I was like going to all the different spots. And so finally, towards the middle of the day, I find myself in that exact same spot. Fishing for that fish. I wanted that fish. I wanted the big boy.
Okay, you're back for this bass.
Yeah.
Was it a bass?
It was a I don't know what kind of trout it was, but
I just
it was
want to say you're back for the bass.
Yeah, I'm back for it, baby. I'm back for
It's
it.
probably not a bass.
I'm back for the big mama.
The big mama, yeah, that's better.
Shut up. No, but so I hooked it up. So to start off, the day that I was fishing alone, I was doing it pretty good. Not as good as the day before, but I caught maybe like a dozen. Nothing that sizable, but dude, I hooked into, I swear to God, it had to be the same fish that I had lost the day before. Had it on the line for like 3 minutes. At this point, I'm trying to play it. I'm trying to fight it, because with fly fishing, it's all pretty delicate tackle. So you got to really be careful as to like what you're doing when you're putting pressure on the line and all that.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a pretty large fish on the end of it. And so I'm trying to fight it, and all of a sudden I like take a step into the river, and my leg just twists this way, but the bottom half of my leg does, my foot essentially, and I just hear my kneecap snap, pop, 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 pop to the back of my leg, and so my foot's cranked this way, my kneecap's on the back of my leg, my left leg here, and I've dislocated my kneecap a bunch growing up playing soccer, and just being a tallish dude. I've had knee problems.
So you've dealt with this.
I was familiar with
similar
what was going on. I knew the
injury.
sensation. I was like, fuck, I'm screwed. And so I was in some fairly deep water, had a fish on the line, but I was like completely like in so much pain as to what's going on. I just kind of like throw my rod, and then I had to kind of fall in the water because I can't put any weight on this.
Yeah.
And so it's snowing. It's March. I'm in Montana. I'm not near people. I have water flooding into my waders.
Oh, great.
And
so it's
I'm
heavy.
So I'm sitting in the water, and it's so cold. It is so cold. I could feel everything go numb within maybe like 2 or 3 minutes.
And like your waders will flood. And
Yeah,
like
the
not
waders
empty, right?
will flood with water,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a dangerous aspect of it. Like you'll need to
'cause
get
you'll
out
be
of it,
too
or
heavy.
else you can be carried down,
Yeah.
depending on the flow of water and everything. And so
Yeah.
I knew that this was a bad situation. But what I was most worried about was hypothermia, because it was so cold. I had no control of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to get out. And so without putting any pressure on this leg,
Yeah.
and I'm like in the middle of the river, and so I had to like figure out my way to wade out on just one leg and kind of hopping and swimming along.
Oh shit! This is an intense story.
It's
man.
crazy intense, man. So I get to the bank of the river. I'm breathing heavily. I'm screaming for help, but there's no one around me. I can see the road in the distance. Cars driving on it every now and then. It's not like a busy road.
No cell phone, like.
No service where I was.
Okay.
Absolutely, because I tried to whip it out and call my girlfriend Maddie, like, hey, I need help
Nothing.
right now. Nothing. My issue was that I was fishing alone. I was incapable of walking. I was about to get hypothermia, and I was also about half mile away from where the pickup spot was, where
Yeah.
they knew where I was going to be at a certain time.
Yeah.
I knew I just had to get there. But I was on the other side of the river. And so my kneecap was dislocated. I bit down on something, I don't remember, and I just relocated it, pop, 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 back to the front of my leg. I had to like stiffen out my leg and everything. I mean, this is like brutal. This is
Jesus.
every time that this has happened before, I've been able to kind of like reset it naturally just by like kind of straightening out my leg, but this wouldn't do it. I had to forcibly reset it, and so it was extremely painful. But I knew I had to do that to get out of there.
Yeah.
Because all of my body was numb. I had lost my voice screaming. I had about an hour and a half, 2 hours until they were picking me up. So I was like, I got to get dry, or else they're not going to be able to find me, and I'm going to have hypothermia by that point. So I'm going to be in grave danger.
Jesus.
And so I had to kind of think. I had to get my wits about me because I was losing it. I was absolutely fucking losing it. Lost my voice, panicking, in shock. And so kind of took out my waders, dried out a little bit. I picked up my rod 20 minutes later. I still had this goddamn fish on the line. I couldn't believe it.
He was still on there.
He was still on the line.
Shit.
And I felt
Okay.
so bad for him. I'm like, fuck, this fish has been in here with a hook in its mouth, just chilling. Like, I mean, it's not that good for the health of the fish. But either way,
As exhausted as you are.
yeah, it's probably going to die.
Yeah.
But either way, I literally just brought it in and I snapped it out, just kind of like broke the line off, and he swam away. I mean, the fish was as long as my arm, so it was a solid like 18-incher. It was
Yeah.
decent sized trout for the river that I was in. Either way, collected myself, reset my kneecap. I found this log that had a Y at the top. It kind of formed a Y, and I used it as a crutch, and I crossed the river again, and I ended up walking back to the meetup spot that my girlfriend was at. But man, dude, there was an
Jesus,
hour time
dude.
frame. There's like an hour time frame there where I definitely thought my life was in danger.
That story
That's like-
took like a dramatic turn, and then I'll let you go, Kev. But you're talking about going back up. I'm like, dude caught the fish, but
Still on the
no,
line.
lo and behold,
This is no bullshit either. This was like
I believe
was
it.
Wild.
It's a pretty epic story. That's one of the best fishing stories I've heard. I'm glad you're still with us, of course, because my mind went to there's a program I like to watch, or I've seen a couple times, called I Shouldn't Be Alive.
Oh, I love that show, man.
There's
Oh,
some crazy shit on there.
Dude, there is some crazy
Guys
shit on
doing
there.
shit like what you were doing. Their fucking legs are
Dudes
completely
getting
busted.
mauled by bears on
Getting
that
mauled by
show.
bears, and
Fuck.
they're hauling 7 miles out of the forest
yeah,
and shit.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts, man.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, at least you had your wherewithal and like you understood to like.
I knew hypothermia was the biggest danger because
Yeah.
I think it's like 90 minutes. If you're subjected to water that's that cold for like that long of a time, you have like 90 minutes, 2 hours until you're kind of done. But luckily, I was able to like put it together. Like, okay, I need to get out of these waders, need to get dry, get it to where I'm stopped shaking and can control my body movements a little bit.
You're almost
Jesus.
you were like in a Bear Grylls survival mode right there.
It was
like man versus wild.
It was crazy because
So what was okay? I mean, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's
You're
fine.
telling a great story, but I want to know, how did the people react when they picked you
oh
up?
my god! So I got back to the road, And I'm straight up like, I'm pale as a ghost. I'm in shock. I'm in so much pain. I can barely walk. I have half my equipment with me, like my fishing rod, all the shit that I brought with me. And people are just driving along the highway like it's fucking nothing. I'm kind of holding out my hand. Like I thought I was going to pass out at one point. I finally got back to the road where they were going to pick me up. And literally like clockwork, within 2 minutes of that, like I thought I was kind of like lunging down, and I see the car that my girlfriend and her dad.
So a sense of relief.
Oh my God, a huge sense of relief. I knew that like if I was kind of holding out my hand for anyone to stop.
Yeah.
It just so happened that they pulled up within like 2 minutes. I'm sure that if 5-10 minutes went by, I was kind of laying there like, hey, like someone help me. There were cars driving by about once every 2 or 3 minutes. There were enough. But dude, it was as soon as I got back to the road, I knew, because if I was still at the part of the water or river I was at, it would have taken them some time to find me.
Yeah, they didn't know where you were at.
I wouldn't have taken them all night. They would have found me, but like time was precious at that point. So I knew that.
Wow.
So I had to get out of there.
So how long ago was this again?
This was a year and 4 months ago. I ended up pushing off. So I got back. We ended up having to fly back to Denver the day after that from Bozeman. That flight experience was unreal because we had a layover in Salt Lake. I was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And this layover, at first we planned it out. It was like an hour, but the flight delays and all that caused it to be like 5 minutes. And I was in a wheelchair, and they had the Salt Lake airport. I don't know if y'all have had to experience this, but there's no, what do they call it, plane train. It's all by foot underneath the terminals.
Okay.
So it's like a fucking half mile you got to walk. And so my girlfriend and her brother, all this luggage, they're pushing my ass through the airport. They had to hold the plane for us. But it was all on them.
This is like a movie.
It was, dude. It was crazy. It was fucking nuts. And it's so funny telling this story because as a fisherman, there's a certain stigma to fisherman tales, right? Like you got to like juice them up a little bit. But like this one, I was like, this is like prime.
Legit.
Yeah, this. I mean, it's all legit, but I was like, this is a good one that I could like, milk a little bit. Like, there's bears chasing after me and shit. I couldn't see, or I was blinded, all that. But it was
so
fucking unreal.
So and that is crazy, and thank God you
No
handled
bears,
it the way
though.
that you did. But so you're telling me within like a month and 4 years, you almost died twice. Once by hypothermia, and then the second time by choking on hot dogs.
Yes, 100%. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, I've lived through a lot in the last year and 4 months.
Man.
I'm a cultured individual.
So there is one question, and man, what a great guest. I got to throw that out there, but you've been killing it. But there is one question we like to ask everybody that comes on the show.
Slick.
And that is, if you could give one piece of advice to humanity so everyone can be better off tomorrow, what would that piece of advice be?
Slow down and stop caring about what other people think of you. 100%. Stop caring about what other people think of you. That's got to be it. That's like, I feel like the number one problem with a lot of like youngsters nowadays, and I would even group myself in with that, everyone's super hypersensitive to the impression that they give on other people. Fuck it. Right? Mm-hmm. Like that's got to be it. And also slow down. Everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's
That's a good
in a
point,
rush. That's got to be it.
That's SLA right
If
there.
I can impart any wisdom as a 26-year-old, that would be it.
You just did.
I mean, look, age is just a number in my mind.
Right,
You know, I
yeah.
look at anyone can go out and own at any moment. Doesn't matter if you're 19, 35, 45, 65. Everybody has something to offer.
Yeah.
And that was a good piece of advice. You know, I think I'm going to call that the SLA, the solid lad advice. We were having some fun with that. Slow down, and don't take people's shit too personally, because everyone's going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
They're like assholes. Everyone's got one and they all stink.
Yes.
Right.
That's so true.
So I'm actually, this ties into one of our favorite people that we were introduced by Logan Kamen.
Yes. Love Logan.
Also a
Yeah,
solid lad.
And Ed Fox. Like, so shout out to Ed Fox and what he does. And this reminds me of he helps with coaching and helping people find themselves. But basically what he was saying ties into the advice that you gave.
Okay.
And it was to basically live in the present and not care what anybody else thinks. Be definitive in who you are and know who you are while you're living in the present. And within that comes confidence, right? Because
that's very true.
everybody wants to be confident, and it ties into what you're saying too. Is like, maybe slow down a little bit, think about how you're putting your best foot forward, and then also just send it without caring what other people, how you're going to get judged. Because here's the thing, is when you're not falling into the cookie cutter norms of society and the norms that society has made. Like that whole thing, like, be an individual, like, and do it unapologetically. And that's what one thing I love about your personality is, like, you own your personality and you just run it. And I feel like everybody needs to do that. So, you know, slow it down, and who cares what other people think? That's great advice.
Totally, man.
That is great advice.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we love stuff like that. We like to break it down too, because, like, you come up with the sentence, which is an epic sentence, and then Kevin and I get the pleasure to be like, all right, let's break this down.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great, man. I love hearing stuff like that, you know, week in and week out. You know, good positive stuff that the viewers and the listeners can kind of chew on a little bit. Again, shout out to Ed Fox. He does a lot of great for humanity. Shout out to Shelly down the hall from us. You know,
Shelly.
Also a fantastic individual that, you know, has been helping me a little bit too. And just great people, man, all around. So the fact remains is, you know, let's not worry about what's going on. You know, ignore the noise. Let's focus on the results.
Ignore the noise.
You know,
for sure.
it's hard to do.
And keep wearing
It is
fresh
hard.
floral shirts, my dude, because damn.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I had to break this out. I bought this just for this podcast. Number
Really?
164, baby.
This
going down.
This dude. No, so one
not-
thing I got to say, I don't normally do this on the air, but the dude got the floral with the colors in it, but he got the gold chain that matches the gold fucking glasses and is matching with the yellow cap, which ties into the shirt. Like, come on, dog. Like, what's
Looking
up
good,
with
man.
flossing?
Gold school, baby.
Gold school, baby's
Yeah.
flossing over there.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's glistening.
I see you're rocking the chain on every episode. I had to represent with the chain.
Hey, man, you know, ever since, like, I've been finding my own way, like, I put my piercing back in. I'm like,
fuck yeah.
let's get
Damn,
this.
yeah, I didn't know
You know,
that shit.
let's
Yeah.
get this.
You gotta
know?
own it.
Just feeling yourself. Fuck yeah.
You got to own
definitely
it,
do.
no matter what. Whatever that looks like to
You got to
you.
figure out
Yeah.
who you are.
That's it, man.
Yeah, and have fun.
And then you can have some fun with it.
And then have some fun with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't overthink it. You know, go out there, wear what you want. You know, don't worry if someone's going to criticize your clothing. Who cares? Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
hell
I get
no.
all the time, man. I'm a cowboy boots and jeans guy. Everyone knows that. You know, people are like, oh, this guy must be a hillbilly, this, that, and the other, whatever. You know, you got to own it, man. That's what it comes down. You got to send it. You got to own it. You know,
Yeah.
and this shit, you know, it's going to be different for everybody. As long as you're out there having fun, being comfortable, who cares?
Yeah,
You
appreciate
know.
people's perspective, but appreciate your own.
Hey, man, and that's one thing I like to do, and we've gotten this advice from multiple people, but you know, going back to the Kylie Bierce episode where she said compliment strangers, and like that was kind of her piece of advice, and I there's something about doing that, and because like when you compliment a stranger, and we're not strangers, but we're acquaintances,
Yeah, I
and
know what you
I'd
mean.
love to get to know you better, man, for sure. But it's like when you give people a genuine compliment, it has to be genuine though. Like, and you actually have to
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
You have
Definitely.
to mean what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like, what if they didn't receive a compliment for like a whole week or two? You know, like what? You know, and then like some strangers just like, yo, the way your kicks are matching, or your bracelet, how that hits with your shirt, or like whatever it is.
No, I can understand and appreciate the impact that can have, especially if, you know, you go for a while without feeling yourself or whatever. You need a
Yeah.
little bit of boost.
It's
Fuck
true.
Yeah.
It's
true.
it's that selfless act that goes a long way. One thing,
Especially since everyone nowadays is so absorbed with anything that's going on right here.
Exactly.
Nothing that's like in front of
I mean,
you.
that's some. I mean, if you listen to the show, we
Yeah, that's a
we
common
criticize that a lot.
topic.
You know, there's a time and place for it, but you know, those selfless acts go a long way for sure. You know, one thing Art and I have been doing a lot when we're out in public is just giving random dap to people. Just that in itself goes a long way. It's carrying
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
Show
mean?
love,
sure.
man.
Some people
Yeah,
are always
we mean
big
it.
time.
Some people get confused. They're like, do I know you? But I'll give it to you anyway, right? But
Yeah.
the fact remains is just showing love to everybody. We could use a lot more
Totally.
of that in this day and age for sure. So
Totally, man.
let's keep sending it. Let's keep ripping tater chipping. Let's own it. You
Heck
know,
yeah.
let's do it, man.
Absolutely.
Yo, B-Rad,
Absolutely.
thanks for being on the show, brother.
Oh, yeah,
man,
man.
it's been so much fun.
And
Hell
the
yeah,
dude
man.
got
It's been
the
a
like
pleasure.
the vest koozie and shit.
I dig it.
Yeah,
It's like a
gotta
vest-
keep them cold.
Vest koozie. Yeah. So killer episode, man. We knew you was gonna knock this one out the park, but like you're in the wheelhouse now, so you will be back on another show. We like to get
Right.
people on like annually, like how you been doing, like what's going on.
Right, yeah.
And so you're coming back on.
Oh, man.
And we just
Honored.
Hey, we're honored that you wanted to share your time with us tonight, man. And we're just so grateful to do what we do here. I know Kevin and I, you know, it's never easy to accomplish big things. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this for the challenge for the week. Is if you have a big goal in mind, then it's time to start looking at the beginning phases, because a big goal is a big thing to accomplish. So start doing something little today that you can easily accomplish, something small, but that contributes to that big goal. Like, we don't have to make the big goal happen overnight. And honestly, that's unrealistic. Like, we need to understand that anything worth anything is going to take a little bit of time before you get it. This is not an instant gratification thing. So all the listeners, you got a big goal in mind. You have a big change. I know everybody has a big change they want to make in their life. I've had a lot that I want to make. I still got more. But you got to do the little steps every day and be consistent with those. So that's the challenge of the week that I'll say is to start taking the little steps today.
True that.
That's what I want to say on that.
100%. Agreed.
Hey, man, before you fire up your race engines, if you want to start moving forward, you got to start somewhere. Take them little steps. Get out of bed. Do what you got to do to change it. Hey, man, that's what it takes. And just be conscious of what's going on. What can I do better? What didn't I do great here? Let's break this down a little bit. Almost look like X's and O's in football. This play didn't work. Let's run another play. I like that you'll close out on a positive note. This was a great episode, man. We talked about a lot of great things, and I look forward to having you back on the show, brother.
Hell yeah. Dude, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much.
Hell yeah, brother.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Killed it. Look, listeners, you already know how we wrap these up, Kev.
You got to be good to yourselves, Art. Why is that?
You deserve it.